Hello, viewers and listeners. You are welcome to another edition of the program Midday Vibes, coming your way from Caliphate TV on Star Times Channel 141 and Caliphate Radio, transmitting on 91.9 MHz. And Caliphate Radio, transmitting on 91.9 MHz. I am Hajara Usman At-Tajri, your uncle for the show. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has suspended its planned strike following the intervention of the Vice President Kashim Shettima. The association has plans to embark on nationwide strike starting Monday, January 12, 2026, citing unresolved issues with federal government. However, following the intervention of Vice President Kashim Shettima, NARD has suspended its planned strike. The Vice President intervention has led to significant progress in addressing some of the association's concerns. In today's edition of the program, Midday Vibes, we will be discussing about the reason behind the suspended strike, the implications of the strike, the government response, and the way forward for NARD and Nigerian healthcare system. Joining us at the studio is Dr. Mujtaba Umar, President Association of Resident Doctors, Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto, and Dr. Abdurrahman Muhammad Hassan, General Secretary, Association of Resident Doctors, Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto. You are welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you.
After the warning strike, let me start with Dr. Mujtaba Umar, the President of Association of Resident Doctors. So after the warning strike, why did negotiation break down completely? What exactly did the government fail to do?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Okay. Well, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors is a nationwide association with branches from all over the country. That's over 91 centers under it, which are tertiary hospitals all over the country. So as we said, there was an ultimatum that was given earlier, a 1 month strike. During that strike, an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, was signed with the federal government. And that Memorandum of Understanding, when it is signed, is timeline to all the demands. Okay, this one was one in 3 weeks, this one in 1 month's time. This one we're going to form a committee. NARD, in its own wisdom and considering the patient plight, we looked at it that, okay, let's suspend this strike and allow the government to do the needful, and let's go back and continue taking care of our patient. We suspended the strike in good faith. Unfortunately, after we left the strike, we come back to the hospitals working. Then the government, nothing from the side of government again from that time. We give an ultimatum of 31 days from 1st of December to like to 30th of December, 30 days. So when we came back, throughout that 30 days, nothing happened. So nothing happened. All the committees that are going to be formed are not formed. Some of the committees that bring their report for implementation, the implementation was not done. So because of that, we now reconvene again. When we came back, throughout that 30 days, nothing happened. So nothing happened. All the committees that are going to be formed are not formed. Some of the committees that bring their report for implementation, the implementation was not done. So because of that, we now reconvene again at on the 2nd of January, which we do an online meeting with all the representatives from all over the country. We deliberated and nothing was done, and that is why we decided to give another 1 week window to see whether something can be done. And after that 1 week, we now announce that we are embarking on this strike.
Okay, so Dr. Abdurrahman, so what are the main reasons behind the suspended strike? Sorry.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. National Association of Resident Doctors had 19 demands, ranging from reinstatement of our colleagues in Federal Teaching Hospital Lokoja, 19 demands, ranging from reinstatement of our colleagues in Federal Teaching Hospital Lokoja that were suspended from work, then welfare issues like payment of 23, 25, 35 commerce arrears, outstanding accordment allowances, promotion arrears that accrued over 10 years on some medical officers that were not paid, skipping an entry placement level. Resident doctors, their placement is usually entrance on mastery. However, out of the blue, without any formal communication, we just woke up one day and realized the IP's office has decided to shortchange doctors and downgrade them to Commerce 2. So we felt that too is inappropriate and it will not be tolerated. That is also part of our demands. Locum practice and work hour regulation. As doctors in Nigeria, Dr. Hajira, if you are a friend to me, you cannot decide when you want to see me. Neither can I decide when I want to see you because of the unhealthy working hours. A doctor does not have,
committed.
We don't have working hours that are clearly stated. Also, that is part of the reason. Specialist allowances, house officers, our colleagues, they are the first line of contact. However, there are a lot of abnormalities on how they are being paid and irregularities in their payment processes. Then membership categorization, implementation of salary arrears and allowances. There are issues that revolve around welfare and standard of our hospitals.
So I will go back to you, Dr. MIDDAY VIBES. Some Nigerians believe that doctors are going for strike too frequently. So how do you respond to the claims that dialogue is no longer exhausted?
Okay, thank you so much for this question. Okay, look, now we wanted to embark on strike. We give all the notice, we involve the media. And before we embark on the strike, we said that we are not interested in the strike. We are always interested in patients. But we are looking at the problem is that government only respond to people when they are on strike. And then, you keep talking, you keep going for the dialogue. You not even sit down and listen. So this time around, we said that we came out and informed the public that we are planning to go on strike, but we want you people, the public, should talk to the government agencies and the people involved. With that outcry, people talked, and then our voices were heard and reached where it's supposed to reach. And alhamdulillah, we had a robust discussion with the stakeholders involved, including His Excellency, the Vice President of the country, the Kashim Shettima, who intervened, and he actually gave some executive orders and promised to see the matter to the end. So because of that, we decide that we're going to postpone the strike. So this didn't show us as people that like recording strike. We don't really like the strike. And now because of this intervention, we suspend the strike. Even earlier when we go for 1 month, at the moment the government call us and sit down and say, we are going to do this and we give timeline, we immediately quit and come back to work. So unlike what the public will think, NARD and the doctors don't really like the strike. In fact, we hate it. Like what somebody was telling us earlier in the morning, we were talking, he said that, like now if they brought somebody, this is an orthopedic resident, that if they bring somebody with his legs bloody everywhere, will you feel comfortable to leave him? It's not possible. So we don't actually like the strike. In fact, we have the public at heart, and that's why now we decide that we are not going for strike to just go and see, but we'll come and tell the public, and the public should talk to the people involved. And alhamdulillah, this time around it works well, and we hope the government will do its own part and will come back, and so that we will not even think of any strike again. Yes.
So Dr. Abdurrahman, is there any other alternative for you to get government attention rather than going on strike? to get the attention for your need, to get, how will I even put
the
it?
attention of the government.
Yes.
Just like my president rightly said, strike has always been the last resort. Part of our modalities for going on strike is media engagement, which we did robustly, and it yielded result. And that was what led to the suspension of the strike. So it is a strategy to prevent doctors from going to strike and also bring the relevant authorities on discussion table. So you see, that is a modality that has also yielded positive results. So that is another modality aside strike.
So what led to this decision to suspend the strike?
Just like my principal right standing was signed, however, there was no positive result of the strike that was supposed to be today. However, it was suspended. The vice president came on board and he gave assurances on virtually most of our demands. Some were approved, some he gave timelines personally. So we believe he's a respected personality in Nigeria. We held his words with great respect. That was why we gave him that benefit of doubt to suspend the strike.
So, Dr. Mujitafa, how does NARD plan to ensure that the government carry on with or follows through with its commitments? Or is there any consequences if the government fails to do so?
Yes, like I told you, NARD always, we don't like strike. We don't like strike. Let it twice.
Yes, but is there any plan that if the government fails?
So usually, when our leaders are there, we always follow up. Like now, we actually met the relevant stakeholders, and we talked, and they promised. So we keep up. You know, this strike that we say we have postponed. You know, we didn't say that we didn't call it off. We didn't call it off. Okay. We said we postponed the resumption.
Yeah. Okay.
So now we still keep up. We said that we give 2 weeks. Now in 2 weeks' time we'll be having our National Executive Council meeting. Let me not mention the place that we're doing it. So, but we'll have the meeting. At the meeting is a fiscal meeting. We'll discuss each and every matter, where we are, where we are from, and where we are, and we'll assess and see the response of the government. If the response of the government is enough, then we relax. If the government, of course, if there is no response, we still have to, because these things that we are fighting, and I include the welfare of doctors, infrastructure, remuneration, and better healthcare system. So we cannot give up on better healthcare system. At least we cannot go down. Rather, we have to go up and continue. So if there is no good response from the government, definitely we'll think of what is the next move. You know, we plan to do protest today and tomorrow, but now because of the response, we are not doing the protest. We can plan and say, okay, since the government did not respond, we will go back to our protest. We will go back strike. We can go back.
And that's the next question I wanted to ask you.
Yes,
that are there any further plans for industrial action if the government fails to resolve the issues in your next meeting?
Yes, we supposed to start the strike today, but there was response, and we now shelved the strike. We said that we are not resuming. If the government did not respond, and we monitor the progress, and the progress is not good, NEC members can decide to vote for the strike. Because what we do is, you know, we have representatives from each of the 91 centers, which are centers from all the 36 states of the country, including the FCT. So, you know, we decide, we look at the leadership will bring everything on the table, and then we decide. If you see that there is no response, definitely we have no option. We have to say sorry to our patient and everybody. But we don't hope it will get there.
It will get to that point,
yes.
Okay, viewers and listeners, it's still your show, Midday Vibes, coming your way from Caliphate TV on Star Times Channel 141 and Caliphate Radio, transmitting on 91.9 MHz. We will take a short break and we'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Welcome back. In case you've just joined us, this is Midday Vibes coming your way from Caliphate TV on Star Times Channel 141 and Caliphate Radio, transmitting on 91.9 MHz. And right here at the studio is Dr. Mujitafa Umar, President Association of Resident Doctors, Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto, and Dr. Abdurrahman Muhammad Hassan, General Secretary, Association of Resident Doctors, also at Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital. You want to be part of this conversation, the number to call is 090-6000-2022. So, Dr. Abdurrahman, how does NARD plan to balance its demands with the need to ensure uninterrupted healthcare services in the country, especially for the poor who rely solely on public hospitals?
Hajara, just like my principal rightly told you, the NAD and its leadership, together with the other centers across the federation, are always with the masses.
Okay.
That is why, in its wisdom, if you notice, all the demands of NAD revolves around the welfare of the doctors that are seeing the patients and infrastructural development. Just like our national president keep on saying that an overworked doctor is a dangerous doctor. And if you observe, most Nigerian doctors are overworked, underappreciated, and under-remunerated, which pose a serious danger to the patients that they see. So by ensuring these demands are trickle down to doctors and ensure their welfare, Nigerian populace or Nigerian patient or the common man in Nigeria will be well seen and well attended to. So all these demands indirectly are for patients.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So, Dr. Mujitafa, what specific challenges are resident doctors at Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital facing that are not visible to the public?
Thank you so much, Azara, for this question. Yes, resident doctors at Udud. So in Udud, actually the resident doctors have a good relationship with the management. So usually this strikes is with the national strike. It's not a local strike.
But you declared support for the NAD.
Yes. So we are part of the NAD, and we do everything together. This is the national strike. So generally, resident doctors generally all over the country, there's a lot of challenges. Like you see, we are the workforce of the hospital. Like resident doctors, they are doctors that are in learning process. We are like student doctors also, because we go for exams. We are working toward becoming consultant, to become a specialist in a particular area. After you finish your MBBS program, you are a doctor. So now as a doctor, it's not enough. After sometimes you have to go and progress and take one particular area. For instance, this is an orthopedics doctor. I'm radiologist. So there are other people that do ophthalmology, some O&G, some internal medicine. So generally the problem we are facing now generally in the country is that people are no much coming to the residency. So people are not much. So because of the lack of manpower, people are overworked and stressed. And that's why one of the demands that we say the one-on-one replacement. People are always overworked and stressed, and then people are leaving the country. So many resident doctors are living, like now, before around 2012 or so, we have over 20,000 resident doctors.
Wow. As
it is now, we have only like 11,000 resident doctors. And then these 11,000 are still the ones doing all the work that the 20,000 or more than 20,000 supposed to do. So definitely there is an overworked and that's one of the demand was, okay, one-on-one replacement. Send a circular to the CMD such that if today Dr. Abraham decide to leave the country, if Dr. Mustafa outside is interested, can be brought in directly. So by so doing, we believe it will reduce the workload. Unlike like now, we are having recruitment. You see, when you want to recruit 60 doctors, you'll only see around 20 coming to do interview. And out of those 20 that do interview, okay, you take all the 20, then you come and do they reported, they do capturing. Not all the 20 will finally report to work. So it's a very serious challenge generally, and this is all over the country, and people are constantly leaving the country. So it's an overworked all over the country. It's underfunding a lot of things, and then resident doctors are like the money you get as salary, use most of it to pay for exams, to travel, also do other things, travel for updates, because you have to be going. Like now in Sokoto, next week you may be going to Lagos for an update. You go to somewhere. So actually, these are the challenges generally. So you are overworked, you are underpaid, and then underappreciated. You know, you're saying I'm always doing strike. So this is it. These are the challenges generally. But generally with the hostel management, we are good now. But this is a national strike.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Dr. Abdurrahman, are there any welfare or infrastructural gap that may endanger at Udut? Now, in Udut that we are talking to, at Udut, that may endanger doctor's safety or patient's life?
Just like the president rightly said, Udut management in its own capacity and within the confines of what they have on ground, have always been making effort to see that the welfare of doctors that is within its reach is ensured. However, most of the welfare challenges we are facing, like the president rightly told you, is a general problem nationwide. So we don't have specific problems that are specific to Udut specifically.
Okay.
However, the problems we face are general problems that most CMDs cannot do anything about. It has to come from the Federal Ministry of Health or Office of the Head of Service of the Federation.
So what are those? And some of the
most, just like I earlier mentioned, the overworking of staffs, resident doctors that I earlier mentioned is a general problem nationwide.
Yes,
there are a lot of bureaucracies to recruit residents, and residency training is in such a way that almost after every 6 months people are graduating. However, the recruitment process is not the same with the way people are living the program. That is one. Another problem that I earlier highlighted during my introductory comments is issue of our arrears that has accrued over a period of time. Doctors, unlike other professionals, their scheme of work is in such a way that we don't have time to engage in other things that will give us funds in return. Because the service is highly demanding, the training is rigorous and highly demanding. So you will realize when government decide to hold any of your entitlements, then it's tantamount to them strangling you. So, and those are the areas that you need to fund one or two things. Additionally, the issue of our colleagues that we rightly mentioned, our colleagues were sanctioned in FTH Lokoja simply because they are leaders. And why they were sanctioned, the reasons that were mentioned or highlighted were simply because of the union activities that they did. They were sanctioned. The NARD is also fighting for them to be reinstated. We are hopeful that the vice president has intervened, and within few days to come, their reinstatement will be. Let me say, their reinstatement will come to fruition.
Okay.
Those are some of the issues, but mainly the issues we face are usually national issues, not local issues.
Okay. So, Dr. Mutitafa, how much of the Nigerian's healthcare crisis can be traced to poor funding or poor management?
Thank you so much for that questions. But you know, if you mention funding, funding, I think most of us have the belief that money almost most of the things,
most of the problems. Yes.
So actually, if there is a funding, a lot of things can be done. Like all those things that we mentioned. When you look at our issues, our welfare issues, then remuneration issues, and then the infrastructural issues. So all these things can be solved with funding. Even the staff issues on that staffing, if you have enough fundings, you can actually employ as much as you can at any point in time. And that would also solve the issue. So when you mention funding, actually funding can do a lot. Even the resident doctors, I would say, don't have much. If you have funding, you can open medical schools and produce more doctors, and that will actually alleviate the issue. You know that our doctor to patient ratio is very high now. You see, the one doctor to like 6,000 patients, which is very poor. But with funding, you can have more medical schools, more people with funding. All these areas that we're talking about, all these salary issues, payment issues, outstanding this, outstanding that, will not be there, and all those things can be solved. So let's get the fund and everything can be okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Dr. Abdurrahman, many Nigerians feel trapped between government negligence and your association, your NAT's action. So how does NAT plan to gain public trust?
One thing that the public need to understand is the fight of NAD is the fight of the common populace. Because what doctors do, we see patients, we treat patients, and we manage them appropriately. However, with the current realities of things happening in this country, an average doctor in Nigeria, with the current state of things, is, let me say, I can say it's a dangerous doctor. Why? Because, like now, in the past, in just few months ago, circulars call rosters has been coming out that you will see a doctor on call for more than 2 weeks. What it means is, if a doctor resumes duty by 8 a.m., he will continue that duty till tomorrow in the morning, that 8 a.m. again. And that same doctor is expected to continue working again till 4 p.m. And that is what it is supposed to be. But with you being on call for good 2 weeks, it means you will be on straight 2 weeks call. So just imagine a patient coming in their need of medical attention, seeing a doctor that is on his 10th day. How do you expect that doctor to see that patient attentively and manage the patient appropriately? So these are the issues. When NAD is fighting for the welfare of doctors, NAD is fighting for the care of the common man in Nigeria. So the public need to understand that this fight that NAD has been doing is a fight for them. Because the common man, the average man in Nigeria cannot afford healthcare outside the country. But the rich, even if he has headache, he can decide to charter an ambulance and leave the shores of Nigeria and go and get medical care outside. So the populace too need to come on board and join NAD in this struggle. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Dr. Mujitapa, I'm going back to you.
Thank you.
So how does NAD plan to maintain pressure on government to address their concerns of its members?
Okay, you mentioned pressure, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have a good follow-up. Now that the government actually promised that we're going to do this, our leaders and at the national level don't usually just leave and look at it. We'll continue following, and we're in communication with them. And then, most of the committees that are formed, there are NAD members also inside. So we'll continue to work together with the government to see that those things are actually actualized. Usually when we say, like I told you, I keep saying it, that we don't like strike. So we don't usually strike is usually our last resort. We follow up with the government, with the ministers to see that things are done. Now that are part of many committees, and then that's why we're giving this 2 weeks. I can tell you that our leadership at the national level will not rest. We will continue to follow it and ever to see that the right thing is done, and that will help to see that we don't embark on another strike again.
So, Dr. Abdurrahman, what role do you expect the government to play in the coming weeks to resolve the outstanding issues?
The rules are simple. You've signed a memorandum of understanding. They should hold on to their own part of the bargain. They've requested for 2 weeks. We've given them. We expect nothing less of respecting their own part of the bargain. Period.
Okay.
We don't have much expectation. Those memorandum of understanding.
So, okay. So coming back to you, Dr. Mujitapa, what structural reforms must be implemented to prevent recurring strikes in Nigerian health sector?
The structural reforms that should be, it is a simple matter. Should areas become a problem? When somebody is due for something and you agree, you say that my salary now, let's say you are paying me salary, I'm working for you, are paying me, let's say 20,000 naira. You come and tell me that we sat down, you say, I have increased our salary to 25,000 naira. And then you said from January. And then now, you didn't add that money in January. In January, you pay me 20,000 naira. When you say you're going to pay me 25, in February, you pay me 20,000 naira. In March, in April, in September now you now start increasing my salary 25,000 naira. Now I have 5,000 naira times 8. I'm owing you 5,000 naira times 8, for instance. So I'm expecting that this money you should give it to me like effortlessly. Do I need to fight to get this money? So I don't need to fight. So what it means is that any agreement that is reached between government and any association should be implemented as soon as possible. And then when you are due, you are being promoted, you should be paid your arrears, whatever that you are due for. The infrastructure reforms to government should increase the budget. Let's have a better budget. You know, the healthcare budget in Nigeria is still a very low compared to what was agreed on, compared to what was signed, compared to WHO standard. So let's increase the funding to the health sector. The structural reforms, let's do the infrastructure as at when due, so that the associations doesn't need to come and beg for this. And if at all it reaches to the extent that the association has to come and start asking government, okay, do this reforms, do this one-on-one replacement, is something that the government should look and do. If at all at the end the associations come in and ask for it and the government agrees, okay, we are going to do it, the government should be up to their own agreement. When the MOU was signed in November, that in 2 weeks we are going to do this, that is a promise. Then the government should fulfill their promise. When that 2 weeks reaches, before that time, finish it. Now that we actually we went and then we agreed that, okay, we are going to, in the interest of the public and the interest of the patient and everything, we are going to suspend our resumption of the strike. So then, and the government agreed in 2 weeks to review the progress, the government should be up to their agreements. Should do the agreement. Once this is done, nobody likes any strike. Nobody would even talk about strike. Yes.
So, Dr. Abdurrahman, what's your message for the general public, especially for the poor who rely solely on public hospitals?
My message is simple. The general public need to understand that doctors also common. Are also common men in Nigeria, and it's not like we are any way different from other people. The same way they expect their welfare to be attended to by doctors, also the doctors too want their welfare to be attended to by their employees. Because just like I rightly mentioned, a tired doctor is a dangerous doctor. An overworked doctor is a dangerous doctor.
So can you throw more light on that?
A dangerous doctor. An overworked doctor, just like I mentioned earlier. Just imagine you coming to see a patient that has just finished seeing 50 patients. You are the 51st patient that he's going to see. How do you expect him to see you the way he is supposed to see you? How do you expect him? How do you even expect his brain to work at the normal rate that it is supposed to work? It is never going to happen. And the necessary things that he is supposed to do for you to get the right management will not happen the way it should be. So doctors are humans and they need to be treated as such.
Very much, Dr. Mujid Safa Omar, President Association of Resident Doctors, Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospitals, and Dr. Abdurrahman